a father to the fatherless,
and a defender of widows.
His garden, His holy dwelling.
God sets the lonely in families.
He leads out the prisoners with singing.
Palawan has been voted the #1 island in the world by Travel and Leisure 4 years running. It is an amazing place. The beautiful beaches, the clear waters, the coconut trees, the magnificent mountains. And tourists come from all over the world to experience this. And yet there's a reality that most of them never see. And that is the remote jungle villages in the mountains. Individuals who live there are isolated from the rest of society there, and many of their customs are still carried on, including child marriage and child brides. And so as we visited these villages, we were able to do so and visit jungle schools. These schools have been built by Philippine Adventist Medical Aviation Services, called PAMAS. Interestingly, their work is with medical evacuation. But as they visited these villages, they recognized that there's a tremendous need for education among the children.
One of the most pressing issues they face is early marriage. The youth are of the belief that after being born and growing up, the next step after childhood is to get married immediately in their lives.
Once a child or a couple, such as a boy and a girl, have decided to get married, in their conversation, they were discussing what is known as a dowry. This is the gift or payment that a man gives to a woman, often as part of marriage traditions. I have a student who was offered 10,000 by a man. And then, because the boy's parents couldn't provide the 10,000, it was reduced to 4,000. So, when I heard that, I was deeply hurt, and I knew in myself that no amount of value can ever truly equal a woman, because a woman's worth is beyond any measurable value.
That feeling when you suddenly realize that they raised you just so they could profit from you in the future through the dowry system. So it feels like you're not really loved because, it's like it feels like you're just commercial goods. I truly and deeply love and cherish my Palawan cultural heritage. But I have indeed observed that our worth does not end with getting married. I want to be an example to other Palawan women like me that they have a future beyond getting married. There are greater heights they can reach.
During my first year, 4 students got married one after another. And this year, it happened again.
And so time and time again, our teachers will call us up and be in tears. We lost another one, and no, they didn't die. But again, the family put the pressure on. It's almost a forced marriage.
When a student told me, "Ma'am, I don't want to study anymore because I am going to get married."
It's too hard. Too much.
It's like being brokenhearted, feeling deeply hurt. Because we teachers sometimes see our students and truly recognize their incredible, absolutely fundamental potential. She will graduate. Someday she will become a teacher. Someday she will become a doctor. So when we find out that they are actually going to get married, it is very painful. That's why I say success is really, really, really being able to actually teach them. And for them to see that, my life here in this world isn't just like this, but there is indeed something greater.
I grew up in the beautiful and serene mountain with my parents and 7 siblings. And my parents only plant crops such as corn, bananas, and cassava, and we bring those down to sell, and the money that we earn from selling these crops helps us. The crops only come from the mountain, which is a challenging environment for agriculture. I also help my parents with planting various types of crops and vegetables. Because of poverty, sometimes we don't eat rice for several days, which affects our health and well-being. We had the opportunity to study down below, at the foot of the mountain. Due to distance, we often get caught by nightfall on the way. We also experienced being bullied because of our color and being indigenous people. They called us monsters and children of witches. To my classmates, even if it definitely hurts, it's okay, we should not retaliate. For us, as indigenous people, it is our custom and practice to get married early, as a tradition and cultural norm. We are supposed to get married at around 12 years old, and when we reach 20 years old, it means we are already old. I almost got married when I was just 15 years old. My aunts and uncles told me to get married because they said that even if I continue to study, I would still end up in the same place. Because of what they said, I lost hope of being able to study. I experienced the intense pressure and stress of getting married early. They want to get married because of the substantial dowry that they are definitely going to receive. And some people in our place, due to their poverty and having many children, they just let their children get married to reduce the number of mouths to feed at home. As children, it is distressing and emotionally taxing to feel like you are being sold to other people in exchange for the things your parents ask for, such as money or favors, and in return, they give away their precious children to others. I feel like they are taking away my freedom as a youth to fulfill my dreams and aspirations in life. It feels like I am just following whatever my parents want and not pursuing my own goals and desires in this world.
When there is a mission school or jungle school, they are taught and their minds are open to the idea that early marriage is not the solution to avoid or escape from their families.
That's why I really try to ensure that my students do not experience those things at all, in any possible way or manner. That's why I strive to make the school a safe and welcoming shelter for all students, ensuring they feel protected and supported.
I will continue my studies because I want to achieve my dreams in life. I also want to be an inspiration to others, especially to my fellow indigenous people. My dream is to become a nurse someday, so I can provide care and support to those in need, just like the nurses who have inspired me. I am deeply and sincerely thankful to all the dedicated teachers because they continue to let themselves be used by the Lord to help and guide us in our journey of learning and personal growth with unwavering commitment and passion. My dream and aspirations for my fellow indigenous people is for them to break away from the culture and traditions we grew up with, especially early marriage. I deeply and genuinely hope that they choose to follow the wonderful and meticulously crafted plan that the Lord has thoughtfully and carefully designed for them. And let them choose what is right so that their lives do not revolve only around the mountain, but they can see that there are many more opportunities waiting for them.
You know, the choices that they have, the options that the students have on the mountain is quite few. So the fact that we have students that are now up to senior high, 11 and 12, is exciting for us. That means they've delayed the early marriage, they've stayed focused, and they're pushing against their culture, they're pushing against the pressure that's around them, and we've just been praying that we could do everything we could to assist them. We kind of had the dilemma. Here is this group that have completed their equivalency up to 10th grade, and now they're looking to go to a senior high. And we looked at the options that were available on our island, and we let them make the choice, the parents and the students. It was like, there was a couple choices. And you know, one of those choices was for them to live here at Pamas, and one of our teachers would be dedicated to them, helping them kind of like their mother, and they would be attending the local senior high that's about 3 miles from here. So when we gave them those options, unanimously, the parents and the students said, we would like our students to be at Pamas. And we were actually surprised. And so when they came here, and we see how they are not only surviving, They're actually, and all of these students this year, we had 9. All of these students are in the top 5 to 10% of within their classes. And again, these are the Palawanos that people think are only good to serve others, to be servants, the Palawanos who are not smart. And yet these students, with God's help, are at the head of their classes. So as we see how God has blessed this year, we're excited. The students are excited. They just finished their first year. We see that sense of accomplishment. When they're not working at the school, they want to work down below. They want to help their parents. It's kind of in the culture. And Palmas has been able to keep them busy all throughout the year, working, whether it's the lady students or the guy students, and they're excellent workers. So academically and with their work, this year has gone really well. So when I think about the future, when I think about the dream that we have for these precious people that we're working at, actually I think of you and me right now. You and I are sitting here right now, totally free. I have nobody forcing me to do this, forcing me to do that. I'm not a slave to any man by God's grace. I have freedom. And the people that we're working with, a lot of them have no freedom. I dream of these children having freedom. The schools we've seen over the last 10 years, especially with the partnerships that we've entered into, like with Child Impact, we've been able to do more. And we are seeing that it is working. Now it's a small percentage. We only have 270 students. Next year, God willing, be more. But these students are learning about choices. They're learning about what it means to be able to exercise those choices. And it's being accepted in the communities. And this is a new thing. A lot of the students say, I didn't realize I had a choice. And a lot of times they haven't in the past, but there's been growth, there has been change. And we want to see these young people have the same freedom that you and I have.
The stories are heartbreaking. Child bride, married at 9, giving birth to a baby at age 11. Child bride, exchanged for 7 pounds of candy. Child bride, died during childbirth, her abandoned baby by her corpse. Child bride, husband and parents say no when she asks to pursue her dreams of an education. There's a common theme to child marriages in the Philippines. These young girls are not ready to be brides. They are forced. Their dreams are crushed by the intense pressure of cultural norms and the desire of parents to receive some type of meager dowry. Although child marriage is illegal in the Philippines, in the Palawan highlands, the practice continues unabated. Forced child marriage has been classified as a form of human trafficking. Child Impact has been supporting 11 remote literacy schools with over 200 students. Our dream is to provide a safe place, a rescue home for girls to continue their education in the lowlands, averting imminent child marriage. 14 beautiful acres has been secured and awaits funding to launch this project. The goal is to raise $275,000. You can help support these girls to pursue their dreams by making a donation to childimpact.org. Go to projects and select Philippines OCR Project or call our office at 423-910-0667. Thank you and may God bless you.